I'm Bill McWilliam, President of Cascadero Copper, CCD on the TSX Venture Exchange. Cesium is one of the world's rarest metals with a growing industrial demand. Drilling is underway on our Tehran property in Argentina to prove up a cesium resource. Cascadero's patent-pending leach process has the potential to make Cascadero the lowest cost supplier of cesium in the world. Visit our website, cascadero.com, or phone us at 604-924-5504.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is market historian Bob Hoye. He's the chief investment strategist for institutionaladvisors.com. Welcome back to the show, Bob.
Yeah, Jim, good to be with you.
Every day it seems that we set new record highs in the U.S. stock market. What is happening there, and are these highs going to continue? I have a feeling they can't forever, can they?
Well, nothing runs forever, and as we like to say, trees don't grow to the sky. But a few weeks ago, I got to thinking, there can be a hit to the markets in late September and going into October. And I've discussed that a few times. But what was missing on that equation was that in August, on our work, the credit spreads were likely to extend the widening trend. And they took a tentative step, and as I noted at the time, there's no drama here. And so what you've got is that we're through the period of time when if something bad is going to be discovered, it would be discovered. And there's nothing there. The credit markets did not change to adversity. So here we are. And the old trading side of me this week said, look, this is the action in the Dow index of 30 stocks, even though General Electric was being killed, suddenly became very strong. And I thought, whoa, this is something. And actually, it gets quite exciting when you think, can the old Dow get into a bubble mode? We've seen sub-indexes lately. Last year, the biotechs. 2015, you saw the Shanghai market get into bubble, and then you've had bubbles in these cryptocurrencies. So, but to look at the Dow and say, hey, this thing's going to bubble it's really quite ironical. And so we did a little more technical work on it. Yeah. So this could be the final thrust of the bull market that started in 2009. Following that disaster, that contraction at the time was described as the worst since the 1930s. So it's exciting, it's fun, and we'll see how far it goes. But the technical on this is that the move can become very impetuous, and you don't know how high or how long the rally may last when it gets into the impetuous mode. But you can sort of say it could be ending action. Now, there are some guidelines on this, not in a textbook, but if you look back on some great bull markets, such as the Nikkei, that peaked in the last trading day of 1989. Had the big explosive speculation in gold and silver in 1980, and that peaked on, I think, January 21st of 1980. So there's a few others, I can't think of them at the moment, but there are a few very good markets or sensational markets that have peaked close to that turn of the year And one of them was the bull market that peaked in 1973, and that was January the 11th. Now, this is curious because I just wrote down a headline yesterday, that big headline in Bloomberg, the lowest jobless claims since 1973. So, Jim, who knows?
Well, they always say, too, there's that shadow jobless market where the people have just given up making claims, or they don't qualify anymore, so they don't bother.
Oh, yeah. Now, that's an absurdity. The calculation of the jobless or unemployed or whatever, you got, I think it's like 60 million people who have quit seeking jobs. So, no, the calculation of this unemployment number is really absurd. But if you stay with the same calculation all the way through, you've gone from a high unemployment number in 2009 to a low unemployment number now, and ironically the lowest since 1973. So what you have here is the U.S. dollar index seems to be stabilizing. It got hit down to 91. 1st of September, very oversold, and we'd like to see it build a good base here above the 50-day moving average where it has been for a couple of weeks. And who knows, you might get into the situation where playing the Dow and the other big stocks in New York could become a global fad, and you could have a rising New York stock market with a firming U.S. dollar. And then that reminds of 1929 when one of the great traders in history, Jesse Livermore, looked around and said, oh, it's like the world is buying the New York market, or words to that effect. So it's going to be exciting. We're not sure how long it'll last, and there'll be some ancillary things with it.
We'll have more with Bob Hoye right after the break.
Lotus Ventures Inc. is a BC-based medical marijuana company poised to launch into the rapidly evolving cannabis sector. Lotus is in the final review stage of the Health Canada approvals to become a licensed producer, having arranged facility financing of up to $12 million, plus building permits for its prototype indoor production facility. Shares trade under the symbol J on the Canadian Securities Exchange. Visit our website at lotusventures.ca.
Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp., RMO on the TSX Venture Exchange. Rainy Mountain's Brunswick property is located in the Rideout Shear Zone in Ontario, with grab samples running as high as 32 grams per ton gold. A follow-up drill program to test the numerous targets located by recent groundwork will commence later this year. Please visit our website at rmroyalty.com.
Welcome back. We're chatting with Bob Hoye. Bob, the last time the markets had a major correction, the U.S. housing market collapsed. Banks were in danger of collapsing. Would the same thing happen this time around?
Yeah, you get that. Great speculations are fabulous, either to read about them in history or live through them, and they're so compelling. And I remember one from back in the 80, maybe 87, some compelling market, and a cartoonist put one together with, the usual one about lemmings in a herd going over a cliff, and the caption was, "Come on in, all of the lemmings are doing it, it feels good." And that's the thing about a runaway market, it feels good. And this is what we have. And you can't fight it. You can't. You just go with it, and hopefully, this then comes down to technical analysis, is to try and determine when it is actually topping. So, if we have some history that suggests there may be a top on this in end of December, early January, in there. And in this kind of a market, that's all of November and all of December away. That's 2 months. That's a long time. But we'll see what happens. The U.S. dollar is firm to steady. It can remain firm to steady, so don't look for any big action in gold and silver. The base metals have done very well this year. Zinc looks like it's trying to roll over. But copper is sometimes it can be a party animal. It may stay firm for a while yet. And on the other side, the agriculturals, the grains have been not good price action at all at multi-year lows. I don't know whether it's going to break down or not, but you've got fantastic forces going on in agriculture with increasing concentrations of atmospheric carbon dioxide. It improves the growth rates of all plant life and everything else. It's called the greening, this kind of greening that shows up at a satellite. So it could be helping yields on many, many crops. So anyways, what's showing up is no action in that department. So let's wrap it up with this and say on the stock market side, positive until we see some action in the credit markets that would suggest a possible change. We don't know if it's going to be 2 months hence or not. It's just out there somewhere. Not much action in gold and silver, and probably steady to rising in copper.
We'll have more with Bob Hoye right after this.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon. Trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the pink symbol ABN-AF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Keep informed. Receive our weekly recap of thought-provoking articles, podcasts, and radio delivered to your inbox for free. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage, HowStreet.com. Welcome back. We're chatting with Bob Hoye. Bob, cryptocurrencies are a new phenomena, or are they? Bitcoin topped $5,000 US, and remember, it started off at what, 10, 25 cents?
Yeah.
Is cryptocurrency or Bitcoin just like tulips?
Oh, I think there's more to it than that. Tulips were in Holland in 1637 and just brewed up because of certain colors were deemed as rare, and the market for tulip bulbs was in the taverns, and the authorities at the time said to people, watch out, because there's no clearing agency, there's no exchange behind this, and if it goes bad, watch out. So in some transaction may be busted. So anyways, but it shows that you can speculate in anything, and it can become a big speculation, and then what happens is people put a lot of their equity into that speculation, and all of a sudden it's gone. Now, what with the cryptocurrencies, this is a sidebar on the financial and currency markets. I believe that at some point a currency will evolve which will meet what people require, which is a very liquid currency where you can transact and hold and save, whereby ambitious governments won't depreciate it. Now, what you have with the cryptocurrencies is because of the sort of slowness and work that you have to put in to get one. There's a great demand, and the price is going up. I read in Holland somewhere where a guy with his young family has sold his house, sold his car and everything else, living in a tent, put all their money into some kind of bitcoins, which is a bit extreme. So, but Jim, it's like any other speculative market. This bitcoins is part of this big overall bubble. A year and a half ago, it was the endless bid for German bonds, for example, down to a negative yield, unprecedented. So you've had the biggest bond bubble in history in high-grade bonds. And now you've got a very good bid for low-grade, high-yield bonds. And then the cryptocurrency thing. And while the moves in the cryptocurrencies have been dramatic, it's another bubble. So it's all part of a bubble environment. And at some point, it breaks. And when it breaks, there's nothing any government agency or central bank can do to prevent the contraction that will follow. So, and as I say, we've got some technical tools that will help guide us on this, and hopefully we're make the right calls. But Jim, it's so exciting to be alive and vertical in financial circumstances such as we are now, and also the political struggles that are going on around the world with a movement away from central authority. Now, you had the election in France, young, attractive leader, and of the center-right. Then I saw a headline the other day that something similar is going on in Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic. And then, of course, you got the struggle in the United States, which really is, if you remove Trump's personality out of it, this is a struggle, a popular uprising against in-your-face and in-your-wallet government. It's exciting, very exciting times. And it's interesting that you have huge speculative moves in the financial markets at the same time as you're getting huge speculative moves in the political markets. I love it. We're going to watch this very closely.
Bob, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Yep, Jim, always good. Look forward to next week.
My guest has been market historian Bob Hoye. He's the chief investment strategist for institutionaladvisors.com. If you have any questions for Bob or any of our other guests or for the show, you can send them to info@housestreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of House Street Media Incorporated.